Welcome back to Euro Roundup on Euro Football Daily, and if you've just come over from winners and losers, yes, that's right, it's exactly the same lineup today, due to a few absences, a few people away on shoots, a few
bit
people
of laziness as well.
A little bit of just we're just holding up the fort, me and Dukes today. But obviously, joined by Doogie Critchley, a fixture on Euro Football Daily, the master of Continental Club.
Okay.
Not going to bring up your former nickname, but we start off with Borussia Dortmund as our first winner this week. At Michael Ziller 7 brought this in.
You've got a double dosage of McCrit today.
Oh right, yeah,
or
nice.
Critubin.
Critubin, nice.
Maybe Critubin actually.
Critubin's better. Yeah, McCrit sounds almost like some kind of weird, kind of narcotic or something. Or maybe
But we've got a double dose of McCrit. Anyway, let's get into Borussia Dortmund because they demolished Bayer Leverkusen 4-0 at home to close the gap to RB Leipzig to just 1 point after the early season leaders drew 1-1 with Bayern Munich. Question marks were raised after Dortmund's previous 3-1 defeat away at Union Berlin before the international break, but goals from Paco Alcacer, beautiful goal, Raf Guerreiro and a double from Captain Royce proved an emphatic answer. BVB were ultra clinical. They only had 34% possession and 9 shots to Bayer's 12, but they got 7 of their 9 on target, whilst Peter Bosch's men could only test Roman Bürki on 2 occasions. Expected goals suggest it was more than a deserved victory, rating it 3.2 to 1.2 in their favour. And Paco Alcacer, as I mentioned, opened the scoring from a beautiful Hakimi cross.
So nice.
And has now scored in all of his 7 appearances this season for club and country. Fantastic record, going off like an absolute rocket once again. He also cleverly let Sancho's pullback go through his legs, and Marco Reus then scored. The 26-year-old former Barcelona forward has averaged a goal every 68 minutes since the start of 18-19. He gets his criticism for not being, not necessarily being the most well-rounded forward, but between the sticks and the 18-yard box, I probably wouldn't rather. He'd probably be my top 5 finishers in the world, genuinely.
At this moment in time.
At least. And the result means Dortmund have now scored at least 2 goals in 19 consecutive home games. But not a good result for Bayer Leverkusen, the Cubs.
Yes, it was a bit of a shock result for Bayer Leverkusen. Obviously, some may have expected Dortmund to win the game, but not by this margin. And Die Werkself had actually gone into the match in pretty good form. 2 wins and a draw from their opening 3 Bundesliga League games this season. Not only had they kept a clean sheet in their previous game at home to Hoffenheim, they'd also conceded on average only 9 shots per match this season, and that's better than anyone else in the league. But while they do concede very few chances, the ones they do are largely pretty good ones. According to expected goals against, they have the sixth worst record in the German top flight. And one potential worry for Peter Bosch early on this campaign is the form of new £28 million signing Kerem Demirbay, who was obviously fantastic during his time under Nagelsmann at Hoffenheim. His numbers have really dropped off so far this season. Shots 2.6 to 1.1, key passes from 3.6 to 1.9, and his dribbles from 2.6 to 0.4, and that's a big worry considering he's usually such a dynamic presence in the midfield, such a good creator.
And they needed to replace Brandt.
Yeah, exactly. Brandt, did need replacing in that midfield, and Demirbay seemed to kind of profile fairly similarly to him. Obviously, a little bit older as well. At the moment, not living up to his price tag, but hopefully that will change. Expected goals and assists per 90 as well has dropped from 0.57 to 0.23. But I have faith he'll it is early days. I have faith he'll bring it back. But at the moment, not really doing it for Bosch. Key performers on the day for Dortmund, aside from the goal scorers, obviously, Thomas Delaney, 12 tackles and interceptions in the middle of the park, showing that form which got him so many plaudits last season. Also won 3 aerial duels and had a shot as well. He complemented Hummel's superb display at the back as well. He got 7 tackles and interceptions, so proving to be a worthwhile investment as well, despite his age. Massive week ahead for Dortmund, though. They host, in fact, Barcelona on Tuesday night in the Champions League. You can check that out on Total Football. And they also travel to Eintracht Frankfurt next weekend. So big week for them. Should we move on to our first loser?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Before we get into our first loser, just a quick reminder to subscribe to EuroFootball Daily if you haven't already. What are you doing? And hit that notification bell so you never miss an ERU. But let's get into Juventus, McCubs.
Yes, this comes from @RiberyRoyal68, and it was a royal day for Ribery as well. Very good performance there. We'll get onto that a bit later. Obviously, Juventus following up their 4-3 thriller victory against Napoli in game week 2 by barely escaping with a 0-0 at the Artemio Franchi Stadium, obviously playing Fiorentina, and it was 1.6 to 0.4 in terms of expected goals in favour of Fiorentina.
Blimey.
So Sarri really did escape with a point this time. Quite lucky not to lose this game, to be honest. And there will already be question marks for him at this early stage of the season.
First game on the touchline, though, so good to see him back on the touchline.
It's good to see him back on the touchline, to be fair. Wonder if he's allowed to smoke.
I think the doctors would come down pretty hard on him. And
Really?
I'll be sending him a strongly worded letter if he does as well.
Okay, fair play. I was more thinking about, just general kind of the... I don't know. Anyway, unsurprising though, given the home side took 18 shots versus the old ladies' 8, registering 5 on target to the visitors' 4. More tellingly though, 12 of Laviola's shots came from inside the box compared to only 2 of Juve. So in general, in terms of just the team performance, Fiorentina clearly the better side.
I saw Szczesny having to make some really nice saves, actually.
Yeah, and nearly put one in his own net. But despite deserving all 3 points, this does at least stop the rot for Laviola. They'd lost 4 on the bounce prior to this against Juve. Not really that surprising considering their supremacy over recent years. But it was also Vincenzo Montella's first point of the season after losing his opening 2 games. So I think he'll be relatively happy even if he didn't get the points he deserved. But who stood out for you, Duke?
Yeah, well, there were some individuals that definitely deserve a mention. So Gaetano Castrovilli completed 3 dribbles. What a pronunciation! I was really chuffed with that. Who knows whether he's actually called that? But I made a good attempt.
I think that's spot on.
In terms of dribbles, Castrovilli is now on 10 for the season, the most in Serie A so far. And you by Eric Pulgar, who's had a fine start to life in Florence following his move from Bologna with 3 goal contributions in 3 games. Once again, had a good game. He didn't get a goal or an assist, but he did complete 4 tackles, 3 dribbles, and made 3 key passes whilst retaining a 90% pass accuracy, making that move from Bologna to Florence look very easy indeed, although might be regretting moving from Bologna, to be fair, because they sit second in Serie A after a very promising start there. But this game was really about a tale of 2 forward partnerships. So the forward pairing of Ribery and Chiesa, Ribery playing much more centrally than we've seen in recent years at Bayern Munich, and Ronaldo and Higuain playing up front is more of a 2. Sarri sort of set up in a 4-4-2, which was a bit more surprising. But the Florence pair had 5 shots to Juve pair's 3, made 4 key passes to their 1, 4 dribbles to their 2, won 2 aerial duels to their 1, and 4 tackles to their 1. So in terms of all-round forward displays, Montella couldn't really have asked for more from Ribery and Chiesa. And Chiesa, once again, looking like probably the most promising young player in Italian football right now. Really, really exciting. Not a great start to the season for Juve, though, in attacking quarters. Only averaging 11.3 shots per game, the 5th fewest in Serie A.
Bad for a Sarri side as well.
Really, really surprising. And obviously they struggled to sort of break down Parma in that opening game. Then nearly threw away a 3-0 lead to lose against Napoli, and now draw in Florence in a game that they really struggled to get going. So really worrying signs for Juventus early on, but it is very early days. Ronaldo is actually the only player in their sides taking more than 2 shots per game. He's on 4.3, unsurprising for Ronaldo, but that's actually quite low compared to his recent stats in recent seasons. And Douglas Costa is second with 1.3, so they really need some more sort of attacking creativity going forward, and they're still playing Matuidi and Khedira, and we've complimented Khedira for his performance against Napoli, but maybe it's the time to introduce Rabiot, and Ramsey's now fully fit as well. Maybe introduce some of these new men in midfield. And De Ligt needs to get more solid in defence as well. I saw Chiesa sort of dribble past him a few times, although it's difficult, stop Chiesa in full flow, but it hasn't been an easy adaptation to life in Turin for the Dutchman. They're now level on points with second place Bologna and 2 behind leaders Inter. They've got Atletico Madrid and Verona as their next 2 fixtures. So big pressure on their opening game in the Champions League. But Juventus fans, are you worried about this start, or is it just early season jitters adapting to a new system? Let us know in the comments down below. And why don't we throw to an early poll on who is going to win Serie A? Let's put Inter, Juve, Napoli. Let's put Napoli in there. Lazio, AC Milan, Roma. Let's get them all in there. Sonny, do your work.
I don't know if you can put that
Maybe
many
you
in
can
there,
only put 3.
But either way.
As many as possible.
Yeah.
Let's go on to our next winner.
Our second winner comes from @Jorkitko, and he has said Barcelona, and more importantly, a certain Ansu Fati debut.
Yeah, what a performance from the 16-year-old. He marked his first senior start with a second-minute goal as the La Liga champions thrashed Valencia 5-2. The teenager became Barca's youngest ever scorer when he netted against Osasuna before the international break, and he set more milestones on Saturday. So the boy from Guinea-Bissau became the youngest player named in a Barcelona starting 11 at the Nou Camp, beating Marc Munies's record set in 2009, so a good 10 years ago. And 5 minutes after scoring, he turned provider for Frankie de Jong, establishing himself as the youngest player in La Liga history to claim a goal and an assist. Well done, Ansu Fati. What a remarkable start to your Barcelona career.
As well.
Fantastic. And Barcelona boss Ernesto Valverde spoke of Fati's special qualities after the game, but admits they have to be patient with him, which is unsurprising with a 16-year-old. The champions, though, in a sort of mark of respect over his potential and what he could do, have been quick to tie him down to a new 3-year deal that reportedly includes a €100 million release clause. So we're already talking about a massive fee if you want to get your hands on Ansu Fati. The youngster was a threat throughout the game and helped his side to a convincing win. Kevin Gameiro had got Valencia back in the game at 2-1, but Piqué, following up almost like a striker for a... I can't remember who took the shot actually, but Piqué following up like a striker, and then a Suarez double secured the victory. Great to see Suarez back and on form. His second goal in particular, an absolute peach. They looked actually very similar, the goals, but I did particularly enjoy that second one. And Maxi Gomez scored a late consolation goal. But it was a pretty comfortable victory, McCubs.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe not worthy of 5-2, but definitely a deserved victory for Barcelona. Controlled the game as they usually do, 65% possession, 17 shots and 10 on target. Visitors managed just 9 with 3 on target, so they were actually kind of clinical themselves to get 2. XG had the game at 2.6 to 1.3 in Barca's favour. So yeah, deserved victory, but maybe not by that margin. Nevertheless, there were some very impressive displays from the home side. Obviously, Fati, as well as his goal, he obviously assisted as well, managed 3 dribbles, 3 shots, 14 touches in the opposition box, which was more than anyone else managed on the pitch. So very dominant performance, especially considering you've got Griezmann in there as well. Fati really was Barca's main attacking outlet before he got subbed off. And obviously Suarez, who came on for him on the hour mark, showed the Barcelona faithful what they'd been missing over the last few weeks with his injury. Had 3 shots on target in half an hour, scored 2 and managed a key pass. De Jong as well, silencing some of the doubters who have been questioning his kind of adaptation to La Liga early on. Scored his first goal, obviously provided for Fati in the second minute as well. 100% pass accuracy.
Wow.
100% pass accuracy.
Crazy.
That's crazy even for Barcelona. 3 key passes, an assist and 3 dribbles. Stupendous in the middle of the park.
Love it. Good work. Use of the word stupendous.
Yeah, cheers. Yeah, it's a struggle to get those kind of words into these shows, but yeah, hopefully a sign of things to come for the Dutchman. As for Valencia, Fati gave the right back Daniel Vasa torrid time. He was unable to complete a successful tackle all game. Meanwhile, Gonzalo Guedes also disappointed a little bit for Valencia. He had the lowest pass accuracy on the pitch with 73%. He failed to manage a shot and was dribbled past 3 times. No surprise that he was brought off in the second half. Attention now turns to the Champions League. Valencia go away to Chelsea while Barca travel to Dortmund.
Oh, some fascinating ties.
Yeah. So, but what do you guys think about the start of the Champions League? Let us know in the comments below. I'm not really sure what that means exactly, but yeah, what do you think the results of those games are going to be? That's what I meant.
That's a better one.
That's better.
Just before we go on to our final loser, just a quick heads up. We're doing 2 total footballs this week. We've got Liverpool versus Napoli on Tuesday and PSG Real Madrid on Wednesday. We'll also be following all the other games.
Big fixtures.
They'll be live on both days, probably about 7:30 p.m. Come and tune in for those. We can't wait to see you guys. It will be back with Total Football with a bang. Cannot wait. Yes. But yeah, let's talk about Sassuolo because they had a very interesting result against Roma, and this came in from @Kyoto Aspire, McCubs.
Yes, Sassuolo's inconsistent start to the season continued with a 4-2 defeat at the hands of Roma. Domenico Berardi obviously got 2 in the second half, but it proved ultimately fruitless because they shipped 4 in the first half. Cristante, Dzeko, Mkhitaryan and young Justin Kluivert getting in on the action. It was a slight surprise after Roberto De Zerbi's men thrashed Sampdoria 4-1 away from home in their previous game before the international break. Berardi scored a hat-trick in that match, but this result relieves them in 12th, 2 points above the relegation zone, although that's not really anything to worry about at this point of the season. The stats from this game actually look fairly even. Sassuolo actually had the majority of possession with 53%, 12 shots with 3 on target to Roma's 15 and 6, but expected goals suggest this was really one-sided, rating it at 3 to 0.9 in Roma's favour. For all their defensive problems though, obviously 7 goals conceded in 3 games, that's only topped by Sampdoria's 9, and the 4th worst defence in the league according to XG. De Zerbi does have some fantastic attacking players at his disposal, and obviously Domenico Berardi in absolute crazy form at the moment. 5 goals in 2 games, a goal every 33 minutes so far this season. Obviously that will level out as the months roll on. But 4.4 shots per 90, 1.6 key passes, 1.1 dribbles. That's real elite stuff from the right winger. 0.81 expected goals per 90 as well.
Crazy.
I guess we can kind of expect that from the numbers we've just read out.
Free kick in this one as well.
Oh yeah, just off the bar.
It's like the dream free kick, curling away from the keeper. Go and check it out if you've got a minute.
Yeah, no one can save that, can they? And 26-year-old central midfielder Alfred Duncan as well has had a decent start to the season. 3 assists in 2 games. His game against Roma, 4 tackles, 1 aerial duel, 1 dribble and 2 key passes. So pretty solid stuff. But what about Roma?
Yeah, well, it was definitely their day. It's a fantastic result for Paulo Fonseca, actually, because it's his first victory in Serie A, and they drew their opening 2 games against Genoa and Lazio. That was 3-3 and 1-1. He'll be particularly pleased, that Henrik Mkhitaryan opened his account on his first appearance for the club. It was actually a really nice left-footed finish. Solid all-round display, playing on the left of a 3 behind Dzeko. 2 tackles and interceptions, 3 key passes, 1 shot, 1 goal. Just heaps more misery on Arsenal fans yesterday. George Wright was pulling his hair out that while they were struggling to break down Watford, Henrik Mkhitaryan was running, crazy in Rome, as it were. Roma now sit 8th after their first 3 games, and the stats suggest that's about where they should be. They're taking 16.3 shots per game, this is the 7th best, getting 6 on target per game, which is the 7th best again, conceding 13.3, which is the 7th best, and expected goals suggest they should be 5th. So it's not been a phenomenal start. It's been just, they're about where they should be at this early stage. But they do have, like Sassuolo, some players in very good form. Brian Costante, who they signed permanently from Atalanta this summer after his loan spell last year. 93% pass accuracy, 3 tackles, 1 aerial duel, 1 shot, 1 goal. But man of the match, Lorenzo Pellegrini, what a display, particularly in that first half. 3 tackles and interceptions, 3 key passes, 2 shots, 3 assists, all in the first half, and he hit the post. And it was actually one of a number of efforts they hit the post. So I think they at least hit the woodwork 3 or 4 times. So Sassuolo, lucky to come away conceding only 4. But for Roma, they've actually got some really difficult games coming up, though. They travel to Bologna next weekend, who are currently 2nd, as we've said a few times, before hosting Atalanta the following weekend. So bigger test to come for Paulo Fonseca's men. Sassuolo more work to do. Giallorossi faithful, how are you guys thinking, how do you think your team's working out under Fonseca? How excited are you for the rest of the year? And do you think you can get into that top 4 after missing out last year? Let us know in the comments below.
We finish off with our star of the week as usual, and at Merulka Akshay has this one for us, and obviously it's Neymar.
Yeah, he's back, baby. He's back, scoring a 90th minute bicycle kick winner even in PSG's 1-0 victory over Strasbourg. What a perfect way to sort of end a summer of upheaval for him. Obviously, he was getting booed heavily. Although PSG were wearing their new away strip, they're actually at home. It was really nice shirt, actually.
I think that's my favourite of all the Nike ones. This is maybe a hot take. Of all those new Nike kind of away kits, that's my favourite one.
Yeah, I think it's up there with me for Arsenal at home as kit of the year so far. Let us know what you guys think is your kit of the year in the comments down below. But he's obviously had a turbulent summer. Yeah. But in his first game back, he notched up 90 minutes and put in a man-of-the-match performance. He took 6 shots, completed 4 dribbles and made 68 passes, heavily involved, linking up particularly impressively with Di Maria. Could have got a second, actually, which was ruled out for offside late on. And after the game, Neymar spoke about his summer and his future with PSG.
Teve alguns motivos, principalmente pessoais, e deixando bem claro que não foi nada contra a entidade do Paris Saint-Germain, nada contra torcedores, e sim né? Quando você não se sente bem em qualquer trabalho, você procura outro. E será a última, porque a partir de agora, foi o que eu falei, minha cabeça está voltada totalmente ao Paris e espero poder todos os jogos corresponder e ajudar.
Interesting words there from Neymar, very honest about the situation that happened this summer, so fair play. And PSG will obviously be hoping that he does stick to his word and he is committed to the club for the season. I expect he will be, but they really do need in this campaign. Obviously, Cavani out injured, Mbappe maybe out for up to a month now. We know how important he is to Les Parisiens, so Icardi and Neymar really need to pick up the slack over the coming 4 weeks. Obviously, Choupo-Moting, Sarabia and Di Maria are other kind of forward options, but they don't quite kind of fit the bill that those two attackers do. And PSG obviously facing Real Madrid at home this week in their first Champions League clash. Obviously, we've already talked about that, but that is going to be on Total Football. So make sure you tune in on Tuesday and Wednesday, because I for one, am looking forward to it. I'm sure
we're doing the Wednesday game, aren't we?
We are doing the Wednesday
PSG,
game.
Real Madrid. I think
fantastic.
Pato and Joe are joining us on that one. Cannot wait. It's going to be an absolute crackerjack. But yeah, that's all we've got time for on ERU for this week. Thank you very much for joining us. McCubs, what should the good people go and do now?
Well, if you haven't checked out Winners and Losers, go and check out that, because we run through all the Premier League action, including that fantastic Norwich victory over Man City. What a game that was. And go and check out other stuff. Go and check out Stat Wars that was out on the weekend. Go and check out our top 10, which did quite well, about all the most shocking FIFA ratings.
Trending alongside Ariana Grande.
Amazing.
What a time to be alive.
What a time to be alive. But obviously, like and subscribe if you haven't already, and see you next time.
Bye.